Now, fresh from the FIFA World Cup, a group of grandmothers around the world are breaking all taboos as they take up the game of football to live an active and healthy lifestyle. Aged between 58 and 84, these women come together on the football pitch for their weekly dose of physical and emotional therapy. They are now packing their kits and preparing to compete in a global tournament in 2023, which will be hosted in South Africa. It's called the Grannies International Football Tournament and will feature teams from the United States, Togo, France, amongst others. And now joining us is project manager Sam Ntsanwisi to tell us more about that. Good evening, Sam, and thank you so much for coming through.
Hi, good evening, and I hope to all the viewers, and thank you for having us on your show.
Sam, let's just talk a little bit about this project of the Grannies. I mean, where does this idea come from of having older women, ugogo, coming through to play football?
My sister started the football team in 2007. As a way of bringing together the elderly, because she was also sick. She had cancer, so every time she visited hospital, she would find these grannies there, and with the advice of doctors, they realized that through exercise, they could actually do something. It's funny because they were just walking on the road the other day exercising, and some boys kicked the ball towards them, and that's how the idea was born. And when they started chasing the ball, the idea grew, and ever since then, my sister's vision has always been to do a World Cup or a big tournament for all the grannies around the world. And ever since they've been traveling to all these countries, then the idea was born.
Let's talk about that initial idea of Bakugula, which was where it started. I mean, how has that project itself been coming through in just making sure that some of these ladies, these old ladies, grannies, if I may, stay active? Tell us a little bit more about that project, Bakugula.
Yeah, so it has been an amazing revelation because all these elderly grannies from the community have managed to, I would say they've been given a new lease on life, because some of them were very sick, and I have seen it with my own eyes, how I could say or argue that some have had a longer life to live as a result of playing sports. And most of them have been able to travel to many countries. You'll know that even when our local national team didn't make it to some of the World Cups, but these grannies were always invited to the different countries, except for this year in Qatar, but they've been to Brazil, they've been to France. And so and you know, when the grannies are playing, it's not only them that it motivates, it's also the young people that see them kicking the ball and they get inspired. So it's a much bigger initiative than just seeing the grannies chasing a ball on the field. So you remember in 2007 they might have been the only team that was there, but now it has mushroomed across the country, and in all the different other countries, the grannies teams have also started.
Well, I saw not so long ago in Gauteng, there was a 98-year-old woman playing football for the Gauteng team. But let's talk about this tournament itself that will be taking place next year, this international event. When is it happening, and who's expected to come through?
It's happening in March next year, starting on the 26th with the launch, and then from the 27th to the 29th, it's the actual tournament. We were targeting 32 teams across the world, but in some countries it's hard to find grannies teams that are existing. So we might resort to the 24 that we currently have. Teams from Togo are coming, teams from France are coming, teams from the USA are coming, and Zimbabwe, Mozambique. So and 9 teams from each of the South African provinces. So we are looking towards a big tournament that's going to happen in our country. I mean, you've seen on our social medias where all these grannies from the different countries have indicated and shown that they've already purchased tickets, and so it's going to be a big show extravaganza in Congo.
So, yeah, that was my next question as to where exactly will the tournament being held in terms of hosting, as we're talking about 24 teams or more, this means it requires a bigger platform, for these ladies to come through, from lodging, accommodation, stadiums, and so on and so forth.
Greater Zanin municipality is ready to host the event. They've shown their full support. Limpopo province, through the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, they are ready to host the event. It's happening in Koankoa Township, although it might be regarded as a small township, but you'll know that in recent weeks, amazing people come from there. I mean, you've got Lungani Ndala, who's won the Gospel Music Awards. You've got rugby players that are playing nationally. You've got soccer players. You've got basketball players. So it's a small township, but we host big events, and so we are ready. Greater Zanin municipality is ready. We've got enough accommodation. Everyone must come here, and we have something big to show them for the grannies.
Sam Ntsanwisi. That's Project Manager Sam Ntsanwisi talking to us about a global showpiece, a World Cup that will feature 24 or more countries coming through to South Africa in Kwankwa, to be more specific, and playing in a football tournament. We're talking grannies from ages of 58 to 84 and beyond.